Good morning, everyone. I'm coming to you this morning I'm just at Kurrawa Surf Club at Broadbeach, and there's a very poignant display that's going on here today if you're willing to come down here with an open mind and have a look. It's called the Forest of the Fallen, and basically they have put up posts and placards of all the people that have been adversely affected by the COVID vaccine. So these are people that have had debilitating side effects and those that have passed away following the effects of a vaccine. Now, there are many people out there who are still ignorantly calling people who refuse a vaccine an anti-vaxxer. The thing is that all these people here on these posts weren't anti-vaxxers. They had faith in the government, they had faith in the doctors, they had faith in the political science that was guiding them to have these vaccines, that it would keep them safe, that it would protect others, when in fact it didn't. And there are many examples. I'm going to turn it around in a minute and have a look. There's a lot of people stopping and having a look, and if you really stop to read some of these stories, it's heartbreaking and it's really sad. So I encourage you to come along down here, have a read, have a walk through this Forest of the Fallen of all these people that have been, and remember, this is only a very tiny percentage. So they're saying that not even 10% of these adverse effects are even reported to the TGA. And of course, you know, this is the information that nobody wants you to see. This is the stuff that the media don't cover. And, you know, to every one of these people that are here, there's a family and friends connected to them. And they're also going through the grieving process of either their friends who are now debilitated or friends and family who have passed away. So I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to walk through the Forest of the Fallen with you and show you just how many there are. There are poppies or little red flowers attached to some of them. They're the ones who actually passed away. I'll turn it around. So you see it's all down here at Kurrawa Park, and I'll walk through and just show you what's happening down here. All these beautiful faces, all these people who trusted the government, who trusted politics to guide their health decisions. There are the ones with poppies who's passed away. Young, old, ethnic, religious, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what your faith is, it doesn't matter what you believe in. Everybody is adversely affected. They've actually got a speaker here just talking about what happens to these people. I'm just going to walk through all of them and show you the rest of them as well. So then it goes through a whole nother row. Of people who have been disaffected by this because they believed the political science, they believed the politicians who told them what they needed to do to keep them safe and to keep them healthy, when in fact it did the exact opposite. It didn't keep these people safe. It didn't stop them from getting COVID. Now there are hundreds here. And as I said, this is only a very small percentage of what is reported on the TGA database. So I encourage you, don't stick your head in the sand and don't think that this isn't happening, because it absolutely is happening to people everywhere. And the sad part is that it may not affect you and it may not affect your family, but I can tell you it's affected people in my family, because some of my family also, you know, had the vaccine to keep their jobs. That's the only reason they had it, to keep their jobs, which is really sad. And it's a really sad example of what our government has made people do in this country, of the mandates. And this is just part of it. And this is the fallout. So please, if you're one of those people who haven't been affected by the vaccines, well, thank your lucky stars you haven't. These people have had blood clots, brain aneurysms, heart attacks is a big one, myocarditis, pericarditis, sudden heart inflammation, strokes. There are fertility issues going on. I'm dealing with patients with that at the moment, people contacting me. I've even spoken to a pathology yesterday where I send a lot of tests off of people about women in their 20s who are now infertile, who have the reproductive organs of a menopausal woman. This shit is happening. You can't ignore it. You can't stick your head in the sand. And for the ignorant people out there who are still calling people anti-vaxxers because they decided not to participate in this experiment, which it is, and this is an example of showing you exactly why it was an experiment, because they didn't know this stuff was going to happen. Well, the pharmaceutical companies did. And this was all about money. This was all about greed. This was all about control. This was never about your health. This was political science, very different from health science. And I hope this post doesn't get taken down. It may get taken down because obviously I've mentioned the COVID word, I've mentioned the vaccine word, but we need to talk about this. I don't see any media down here covering it, and I'm sure it's not even going to make the papers, although they may, write a slanderous report about me reporting it, and that's fine too, because I am beyond caring about what the media think about me and my views on a vaccination that was rushed out into the public that has now created all these people to have adverse events and death, being the ultimate sacrifice that they made for trusting the government. So if you're at Kurrawa today, or you weren't even planning on coming down here, I highly encourage you to, and have a walk through this Forest of the Fallen and read some of these stories. Read some of these really, really personal stories that are all sitting here for you to see. And if you have somebody who's been adversely affected, then by all means print it out, bring it down and add it to this Forest of the Fallen. Because with what we've done in the last few years with people's health, we need to remember the people who sacrificed their health because they trusted people who thought they knew better. So come down and have a look. Come down and have a read in your own quiet time. There's a lot of people stopping. I can't, it's hard to fathom that people are still ignorant and people are still calling other people names because they've chosen not to participate in this experiment. It just does my head in. And, the ignorant and the arrogant will continue to do that. It makes me really, really mad. I've been called plenty of names myself and I don't care anymore. I really have no care factor and no time for people who are sticking their head in the sand and denying that this shit is happening to people everywhere and continuing to happen. And we haven't even begun to see the fallout. In the next couple of years, we'll continue to see that, and I'll continue to see patients who have gone to doctors and there's no explanation for their adverse health events or their sudden death. Seeing a lot of that, aren't we? Papers will report that, but they won't report the connection between having a vaccine and what's happened to these people. So come down here, spend some time, come to Kurrawa and have a read through these heartbreaking stories. And don't stick your head in the sand. The Forest of the Fallen can affect each and every one of us. Cheers, everyone.